On Prime Crime, the unsettling question lingers. What has transpired in the 2 years since the curious disappearance of a young girl? The community and the nation grapple with a multitude of unanswered questions as the case of Harmony Montgomery unfolds. The bizarre circumstances surrounding her father, Adam Montgomery, begin to draw intense scrutiny. In a tense confrontation, investigators pressed for assurance about Harmony's well-being. "Can you assure me that your daughter is okay?" they demanded, their urgency palpable. Yet Adam's evasiveness only fueled the tension. "I'm answering a question," he insisted, the frustration evident. The interrogation intensified as the investigators sought clarity amidst the chaos. No, you're going to play the same word games that you played with me the other day," one investigator warned, their patience wearing thin. The confrontation escalated, with the investigator stating, "Either get on the bus now or get run over." The air was thick with tension as the search for the truth continued, spiraling deeper into uncertainty. Adam's dismissive attitude raised alarms. "I'm done answering questions," he declared, denying any further insight. It was a chilling moment, as it became clear that Harmony had suddenly been reported missing, her absence shrouded in mystery. Investigators uncovered a shocking revelation. Harmony Montgomery had not been seen in 2 years. The Manchester police received a report indicating that the last sighting of Harmony was on October 2, 2019, within a residence in Manchester, her prolonged absence raising serious concerns. On December 31, 2021, the Manchester police officially announced the mysterious disappearance of 7-year-old Harmony Montgomery, reported missing by her birth mother, 31-year-old Crystal Sorey, just a month prior. The police had only recently become aware of the situation. As the clock ticked toward the new year, questions arose. What has happened in the last 2 years? Was a fair question, echoing through the minds of many. "That's why I'm here today," one investigator stated, acknowledging the weight of the investigation. Harmony's mother, Crystal, was left to grapple with the unthinkable. The investigation sought to piece together a timeline, searching for answers. If the last sighting of Harmony was in 2019, what could have happened in the months that followed? Where could she possibly be? To unravel this mystery, the sordid history of Harmony's family must be examined. By all accounts, Harmony was one of the sweetest girls you could meet. She adored Minnie Mouse, her bright and vibrant spirit shining through. Born in June of 2014 to Adam Montgomery and Crystal Sorey, their separation came soon after her birth. Both Adam and Crystal had troubling histories with drug abuse. Within a year of Harmony's birth, Adam found himself imprisoned, leaving Crystal with custody. However, due to ongoing issues with substance abuse, social services intervened, removing Harmony from Crystal's care. After his release, Adam fought to regain custody of Harmony. Eventually, he succeeded, navigating the complex legal system to bring her back into his life. Meanwhile, Crystal sought redemption in a drug rehabilitation center, hoping to reclaim her life. While there, her contact with Harmony remained sporadic, with the last connection occurring on Easter of 2019 during a video visit. Adam had since married Kayla Montgomery, but she too struggled with drug dependency. As Adam began to cut off contact with Crystal, the darkness surrounding Harmony's situation deepened, leaving everyone searching for answers in a tangled web of family turmoil. In a desperate attempt to locate her daughter, Crystal Sorey found herself repeatedly blocked by Adam Montgomery on social media and through phone calls. Traveling from Massachusetts to Manchester, she spent months searching for Harmony Montgomery, but her efforts were met with silence and frustration. As detectives began their pursuit of answers regarding Harmony's mysterious disappearance, they first turned to Kayla Montgomery, Adam's then-wife, hoping she could shed light on his whereabouts. The police approached Kayla with urgency, stating their need to speak directly to Adam. This inquiry set off a chain reaction, and time was of the essence. However, Adam's history of being elusive complicated matters, especially during a time marked by COVID-19 restrictions, which made family interactions scarce. Given Adam's transient lifestyle, tracking him down would prove to be a daunting task. Nevertheless, just hours after their conversation with Kayla, law enforcement officers unexpectedly located Adam and his new girlfriend in Manchester, where they appeared to be asleep in their vehicle. The officers initiated contact, instructing the occupants to show their hands and step out of the car. They approached the vehicle, ready to uncover the truth behind the unsettling circumstances. The officers discovered Adam asleep in a park area alongside his girlfriend and their children. Yet conspicuously absent was Harmony. Rather than immediately questioning Adam about her, they chose to keep him talking, biding their time as they awaited further backup. During the encounter, Adam came across as calm, even as police initiated their inquiries. They noted his cooperative demeanor, seemingly untroubled, despite the seriousness of the situation unfolding around him. While engaging with Adam, the officers acknowledged his past struggles with addiction, hinting that some might consider him a victim of circumstances. However, they pressed on, determined to unravel the mystery of Harmony's whereabouts. As the conversation continued, Adam maintained a nonchalant attitude, expressing no immediate concern. Yet, the officers knew that urgent questions regarding Harmony's safety loomed large in the background. The officers, aware of the growing tension, attempted to guide the conversation, suggesting that Adam might have valuable information. They conveyed the seriousness of the situation, reminding him that detectives were en route to speak with him. Despite their efforts, Adam displayed reluctance, asking for a cigarette instead of engaging in dialogue about his daughter. The officers understood that this could be a critical moment in piecing together the timeline of Harmony's last known whereabouts. When pressed for details about where they had been living, Adam's defensiveness escalated. He insisted on his unwillingness to speak with the police, questioning whether he was being arrested. The officer clarified that while he was being detained, he was not under arrest. Yet Adam's apprehension only deepened, prompting him to contemplate whether he should seek legal counsel. As the investigation intensified, the spotlight narrowed on Adam Montgomery. His evasive responses raised alarm bells among investigators who were increasingly concerned for the safety of Harmony Montgomery. Despite the mounting pressure, Adam's attitude suggested he had little intention of cooperating. As the officers pressed for answers, he deflected their inquiries, expressing confusion over their interest in his daughter's well-being. The tension thickened as the officers confronted him about his behavior, questioning why he appeared so unconcerned for Harmony's safety. Adam's dismissive demeanor only served to heighten the urgency of the situation. In the midst of this chaotic scene, Adam's focus seemed to drift, questioning the presence of multiple police cruisers in the area. Yet, the officers remained fixed on a singular goal: to uncover the truth behind the disappearance of his daughter, Harmony Montgomery. On December 31st, 2021, in Manchester, New Hampshire, police found themselves face-to-face with Adam Montgomery. They were probing into the chilling disappearance of his 7-year-old daughter, Harmony Montgomery, who had not been seen in over 2 years. Legally, Harmony was supposed to be in Adam's custody, yet she was nowhere to be found. His evasiveness raised alarm bells for the investigators. As the questioning began, Adam's demeanor suggested a man under pressure. He greeted the officers casually, but the tension in the air was palpable. "Am I under arrest?" he asked, seeking an escape from the situation. "No, you're not," the officers replied, yet their intent was clear. They needed answers, and Adam had nothing to offer. "Hey man, what's going on?" Adam inquired, trying to regain control. The officers pressed on, reiterating their purpose. "The only thing we're trying to figure out is where she is." Their concern for Harmony was unwavering, but Adam remained tight-lipped, his reluctance to engage only amplifying their worries. "You're not in trouble," one officer assured him, attempting to lower the stakes. Yet Adam's walls remained fortified. "I have nothing to say," he insisted, further distancing himself from the officers' attempts to connect. The officers continued, trying to break through Adam's defenses. "We can check on her and make sure that she's okay," they urged. But Adam responded with a cold indifference, his silence a stark contrast to the urgency of the situation. "I have nothing to say to you guys," he repeated, a mantra of avoidance. "Do you care if your daughter's okay?" the officers pressed. Adam's answer was evasive. "I do, but if I'm under arrest, then you can arrest me," he declared, his defensiveness revealing more than he intended. The officers continued to challenge him. "Where is your daughter?" Their insistence was met with more of Adam's reticence. "I do care," he insisted, but the sincerity of his words was questionable. In a tense standoff, investigators pressed Adam Montgomery for information about his daughter, demanding to know her whereabouts to ensure her safety. With a cold demeanor, Adam responded that he had nothing to say, seemingly indifferent to the grave situation at hand. Despite their concern, Adam maintained his silence, declaring that if he was under arrest, then they could proceed with it. He refused to answer any questions, his resolve unwavering. The investigators, frustrated by his lack of cooperation, reminded him of his parental responsibilities, insisting that they cared about his daughter's well-being. Adam, however, continued to deny them any further information. The police were faced with multiple scenarios regarding Harmony's disappearance. They considered the possibility that she might have simply wandered off or even been abducted. Yet, with each passing moment, the urgency to find her grew stronger. All they needed was confirmation of her safety. Adam offered no reassurance, leaving investigators to wonder if she was indeed all right. They needed a solid lead, but Adam's words offered no solace. Despite their pleas, Adam remained obstinate. He reiterated that he had nothing else to say, refusing to confirm or deny that his daughter was safe. The investigators pressed for clarity, desperate for any information that could lead them to Harmony. But Adam's responses were evasive, and he continued to assert his silence. Frustrated, the officers sought to break through Adam's defenses. They reminded him of his paternal duties, asking if she was with family, yet he only repeated his claim of being under arrest, further complicating the investigation. The tension escalated as investigators emphasized the urgency of the situation. They needed to know when Adam last saw his daughter alive, questioning his love for her in the process. Adam, feeling cornered, insisted on his arrest, dismissing their inquiries. He reiterated that he had not seen Harmony recently, claiming he had been in Maine, and demanded to leave the interrogation room. The investigators expressed their dismay, unable to comprehend how a father could refuse to check on his child's welfare. Adam's refusal to engage left them with more questions than answers, a sense of despair creeping in. As the investigation turned its focus to Harmony's mother, Crystal Sorey, it became clear that the case was steeped in complexities. The need to uncover the truth about Harmony's fate weighed heavily on everyone involved. In a moment of desperation, Adam Montgomery expressed his frustration, declaring he had nothing to say. He felt cornered, questioning whether the authorities planned to arrest him. His words hinted at an unsettling truth. He hadn't spoken to his daughter in a long time, and he worried about how Crystal Sorey, Harmony's mother, was coping without her child. The tension escalated as Adam recounted the last time he spoke with Crystal, 2 years ago. When pressed about why their communication had ceased, he hesitated, reluctant to share the details. The interrogators probed further, but Adam refused to divulge any more, dismissing the idea of a confrontation, while evading the truth hidden in his words. He maintained that he had allowed Crystal to see her child, but his tone suggested there was more behind his actions. The investigator, John, sought clarity, expressing concern about Crystal's well-being. Adam's defensive posture hinted at a deeper conflict, as he insisted he had nothing more to say. John's frustration grew as he pressed for information about Crystal's behavior, fearing she might have done something reckless. Adam's evasiveness only fueled John's determination to uncover the truth. The atmosphere thickened with tension as Adam claimed Crystal was supposed to be with Harmony, but the uncertainty loomed large. Adam stumbled through his words, indicating that Harmony was with her birth mother. Yet his defensiveness raised suspicions. He needed to know what had transpired with Crystal, insisting she was fine, but the doubt lingered heavily in the air, as if the truth was just out of reach. As the interrogation continued, Adam was asked pointedly if he believed Harmony was alive. His response was unsettlingly vague, and the investigator pressed on, searching for answers that Adam seemed reluctant to provide. The tension heightened as Adam's frustration boiled over, questioning whether he was under arrest. John's relentless questioning led Adam to reiterate his desire to speak with Crystal, expressing an urgency that suggested he knew more than he let on. The investigator, aware of the stakes, noted that Crystal was supposedly with her mother, yet Adam's hesitance hinted at a darker reality lurking beneath the surface. Adam finally admitted that he had lost his home 2 years prior, during the Thanksgiving season, a detail that wrapped around time like a noose. He recalled how Crystal had come to pick up Harmony, a memory that hung heavy in the air as the investigation drew closer to the unraveling timeline of events. The recollection of that day in 2019 was pivotal. Kayla, Adam's partner, had told police that immediately after Thanksgiving he had dropped Harmony off with her mother, Crystal. But when Kayla returned from work that day, Harmony was gone, leaving a void filled with unanswered questions. As the investigators pressed, Adam's frustration mounted. He argued that if he had nothing to do with Harmony's disappearance, he should have been informed of the truth sooner. The weight of the situation bore down on him, as he anxiously speculated about the possibility of something sinister occurring. His voice wavered, revealing a flicker of fear as he suggested that perhaps something had gone horribly wrong, and people were afraid of the consequences. Adam's words hinted at a dark possibility, one that sent chills through the room as the tension between him and the investigators thickened. Yet Adam continued to evade direct answers, caught in a spiral of his own making. He argued that if his child had been missing for 2 years, he would have taken drastic action, expressing disbelief that anyone could remain passive in such a situation. His words, however, felt hollow against the backdrop of Harmony's absence. With each question, the investigators sought to peel back the layers of Adam's story. He insisted he had been unaware of Harmony's missing status, clouds of confusion shrouding his mind. The disconnect between his claims and the reality of the situation left the investigators with more questions than answers. Adam's insistence that he would have acted differently if he had known something was amiss clashed with the growing evidence against him. The investigators, frustrated by his evasiveness, could only watch as he spiraled deeper into a web of contradictions, leaving them to wonder how much he truly knew. The tension hung vividly in the air as the interrogation concluded without any significant breakthroughs. Adam's repeated claims of ignorance regarding Harmony's fate echoed in the investigators' minds, a haunting reminder of the young girl still missing and the shadows of doubt that surrounded her family. The disconnect between Adam's words and the reality of a 2-year absence raised alarm bells. How could a father remain so uninformed about his child's disappearance? The unanswered questions lingered, a chilling testament to the lengths some would go to protect their secrets in the face of tragedy. As the police and Adam Montgomery parted ways, a sense of foreboding lingered in the air. Despite extensive questioning, no substantial revelations emerged. It was unsettling. No one had seen Harmony Montgomery in over 2 years. In a tense exchange, Adam was confronted by investigators, who informed him that detectives were coming to speak with him. "People are wondering where Harmony is," they pressed, seeking answers that seemed to evade him. Adam, visibly agitated, dismissed the detectives. He asked for a cigarette, seemingly more concerned about his own comfort than the gravity of the situation at hand. Meanwhile, the urgency of the investigation into Harmony Montgomery's disappearance was mounting, and reporters were determined to bring her story into the light. As the drama unfolded, the atmosphere thickened. 5 police cruisers circled the area, intensifying the search efforts while Adam remained defiant. "You can look me right in the eye and tell me that she's alive," he insisted, but the weight of his words felt hollow. Detectives were acutely aware of the stakes. Harmony, a small child, had vanished without a trace. With each passing moment, the fear grew that the clock was ticking against them. As the investigation deepened, Adam's relationship with his daughter came under scrutiny. Detectives soon learned that it was far from wholesome. An uncle entered the scene, revealing troubling details about Adam's past. Kevin Montgomery disclosed that Adam had previously struck Harmony in the face, a chilling revelation that cast a long shadow over the investigation. This revelation marked a pivotal moment. Adam was now the primary suspect in Harmony's disappearance. The police were on high alert, recognizing the urgency of their situation. A child was missing, and allegations of abuse against her father had transformed the investigation into a critical red flag. The urgency to uncover the truth intensified. Investigators seized the opportunity to question Adam further, knowing that the community was gripped by fear and uncertainty. "I don't want you to be painted as a monster," they cautioned, aware of the delicate balance they had to maintain. Adam Montgomery was eventually arrested, but curiously, it was not for Harmony's disappearance. The charges were unrelated, yet they hinted at deeper issues. "You understand what this charge is, right?" Investigators pressed, detailing the serious allegations against him. In a tense interrogation room, Adam faced charges of secondary assault and endangering the welfare of a child. "Your daughter had some injuries," the investigators revealed, seeking to unravel the truth behind the bruises that told a story of their own. Adam's demeanor remained strikingly indifferent. "What are you referring to?" he questioned, deflecting responsibility as if the truth was an inconvenient burden. The police noted his blasé attitude as they sought clarity amid the chaos. As the interrogation progressed, Adam's frustration flared. "You guys are completely out of line," he snapped when confronted about the assault. Yet the detectives pressed on, hoping he would clarify his side of the story. "Wouldn't you rather explain it so we can make sense of it?" they urged, emphasizing the importance of context amidst the mounting allegations. But Adam remained obstinate, refusing to engage further. Much like his initial encounter with the police, Adam's responses were evasive. He continued to dismiss their inquiries, showing no inclination to provide the answers that could shed light on Harmony's tragic fate. With each exchange, the detectives sensed they were caught in a web of denial. Adam's irritation only grew as they pressed for explanations, but the truth remained shrouded in silence. In the interrogation room, tension crackled in the air as Adam's refusal to cooperate left investigators frustrated. But the officers were determined to sift through the layers of deception, intent on uncovering the truth behind Harmony's disappearance. As the detectives navigated through Adam's dismissals, they remained focused on the bigger picture. "They're not here necessarily to explore circumstances around that assault," they reminded him, hoping to elicit the information that could lead them to the missing girl. In a relentless pursuit of the truth, the investigators pressed on, aware that every detail mattered. They needed answers, and Adam's silence only deepened the mystery surrounding Harmony Montgomery's tragic fate. As the investigation unfolded, it became clear that this case was spiraling out of control. The media buzzed with speculation. Locals whispered in hushed tones, and politicians took notice. As the tension mounted, an unsettling dialogue emerged from Adam Montgomery, whose revelations raised more questions than answers. In a heated exchange, Adam adamantly denied any wrongdoing, insisting that the allegations against him regarding his daughter were unfounded. He could not fathom how anyone could suggest that he was the cause of her distress. He expressed a desperate need for clarity, recalling that the Department of Children, Youth, and Families had visited his home on multiple occasions, only to close the case without finding evidence of abuse. He noted that while there were whispers of a black eye, he maintained that he was not responsible for any harm. Adam argued that if significant injuries had indeed been present, the authorities would have acted. He claimed that during their visits, they found the children well cared for and happy, dismissing the notion that he could be the source of any inflicted marks. In an effort to defend himself, he confronted the investigator, questioning how they could suggest that he was responsible for any marks on Harmony's face. His outrage was palpable as he struggled to comprehend the accusations, insisting that the children thrived in his care. Yet the investigator pressed on, reminding Adam that multiple witnesses had claimed the marks were indeed inflicted by him. This was a critical moment, a chance for him to clarify whether it was a grave misunderstanding or something more sinister. The investigator sought to understand how Adam could deny ever seeing any marks on Harmony's face, questioning the safety of the environment they provided. Despite the mounting evidence, Adam's recollections seemed increasingly fragmented. The investigator probed deeper, asking why the visits from the authorities had become a regular occurrence. Adam explained that he and his wife had been struggling, and despite their efforts to maintain order, the situation had deteriorated. He described a time when the family had lived without electricity, with the police finding nothing amiss during their inspections. However, the reality was that Adam, Kayla, and the children had been forced to live out of their car, relying on a generator for power, a stark contrast to the image he portrayed. The investigator noted the disarray surrounding the family, revealing a deeper, more troubling narrative. Tensions were high, and Adam's frustration grew palpable as he felt cornered by the relentless questioning. In a moment of exasperation, Adam expressed his weariness with the line of questioning, feeling as though the investigators were not getting to the heart of the matter. He sensed that this was not about finding the truth, but rather about painting him as a monster. Despite his defensive stance, Adam was aware that his story was crumbling. The inconsistencies in his statements raised alarm bells for the investigators, prompting them to dig deeper into the shadows of his narrative. The investigator pressed him further, challenging him to clarify why he consistently avoided discussing Harmony. Each evasion only heightened the sense of suspicion surrounding him, suggesting a deeper, more convoluted truth. Adam's agitation mounted, his frustration spilling over as he accused the investigators of leading the conversation in circles. He had shared his version of events, yet felt unheard and misrepresented. In a moment of disdain, he dismissed the repeated questions, suggesting they were pointless. However, the investigators knew that every moment of silence only fueled their determination to uncover the truth. The tension in the room was palpable. He was not under arrest, Yet his reluctance to provide straightforward answers only intensified their resolve. Each evasive response propelled the investigators further into the depths of the case, igniting the need to uncover the reality behind the facade. In a tense exchange, the investigator pressed Adam Montgomery, asking him to make a promise, man to man. He implored Adam to confirm that his daughter, Harmony Montgomery, was still alive. Yet, Adam seemed unwilling to shed the deceptive word games he had played the previous day. With a cold, dismissive tone, Adam insisted that this was not mere wordplay. He claimed he had nothing to offer, reaffirming that the investigation was at a standstill. Either he cooperated now, he warned, or he would be run over by the relentless wheels of justice. In a moment of resignation, Adam declared he had nothing more to say and demanded a lawyer. At this juncture, the police were convinced they were closing in on the truth. Adam Montgomery faced charges of second-degree assault for an incident involving Harmony that had occurred years earlier. Adding to the complexity, Kayla Montgomery, Adam's wife, was also entangled in legal troubles related to Harmony. Investigators had pinpointed the timeline of Harmony's disappearance, establishing when she had last been seen with Adam and Kayla. Despite their claims to state officials that they still had Harmony in their care, Kayla faced charges for fraudulently receiving benefits, food stamps, and other state assistance, while failing to provide clarity about Harmony's whereabouts. Yet, the investigators were still left with unanswered questions regarding Harmony Montgomery's fate. As they sifted through the murky waters of deception, the urgency to find concrete information grew. With a reward of $150,000 on the table, the hope was that individuals would step forward, driven by the promise of financial gain. Months crawled by with the investigation yielding little progress. But in August 2022, officials delivered a staggering announcement. With heavy hearts, they revealed that Harmony's disappearance was now classified as a homicide investigation. The somber declaration echoed in the community, underscoring the loss of a sweet, innocent child who deserved to be reunited with her loved ones. Members of the Manchester Police Department, alongside the U.S. Marshals and the FBI, had dedicated countless hours gathering evidence and pursuing leads. All their efforts culminated in the grim conclusion: Harmony Montgomery had been murdered. But what tangible evidence could authorities present against Adam Montgomery? One vital piece remained elusive: Harmony herself. Without a body or any remains, the question loomed: did they possess sufficient grounds to charge her father with murder? As investigators pieced together the fragments of this heartbreaking puzzle, the escalating urgency of the case became apparent. They knew they had to intensify their efforts, raising the stakes in a desperate bid to uncover the truth. The frustration of wasted resources weighed heavily on the detectives. They harbored a bitter resentment towards those who seemed to dismiss the gravity of the situation. The search for the missing 7-year-old Harmony Montgomery had stretched beyond 2 years without a trace. However, in October 2022, the investigation took a pivotal turn, bringing the long, painful saga to a crushing climax. That morning, Adam Montgomery was arrested, charged with the murder of his daughter, Harmony. The allegations were harrowing. He faced charges of second-degree murder for brutally striking Harmony in the head with a closed fist back in December 2019. Additionally, he was charged with falsifying physical evidence, abuse of a corpse, and tampering with witnesses. Yet, the chilling reality remained. Without Harmony's body or any remains, the prosecution faced an uphill battle in establishing a definitive cause of death. The gravity of the situation deepened as investigators considered the legal implications of their findings. Without Harmony's body, the ability to establish a cause of death seemed nearly impossible. The search for evidence led to more questions about the actions of those closest to her. The grim reality of the situation began to surface when witnesses came forward, revealing that Harmony Montgomery had been struck by her own father, Adam Montgomery. Facing a potential life sentence, Adam awaited official charges for second-degree murder. As the case progressed, the aftermath of Adam's charges only deepened the suspicions of investigators. A chilling phone call from jail seemed to encapsulate the entire investigation. In a recorded conversation, Adam conveyed a disturbing sense of confidence, suggesting that whatever he had done to Harmony, he believed she was hidden away in a place the police could not reach without his guidance. This call underscored a striking indifference, even 4 years after Harmony Montgomery's tragic demise. Despite the absence of Harmony's body or any remains, Adam Montgomery was set to stand trial for murder. However, as the proceedings approached in February 2024, he made an unexpected move that would shock many. While Adam attended the jury selection, he refused to appear when it came time for the trial to commence. At the outset of the trial, he revealed his admission of guilt regarding the abuse of a corpse and the falsification of physical evidence. Though he did not plead guilty as many assumed, Adam conceded that the state possessed ample evidence against him. It was a strategic move, conceding to the reality that he had likely butchered his daughter's body. The prosecution, however, argued that this was insufficient. They maintained that Adam was ultimately responsible for Harmony's tragic fate. It was then that the prosecutors began to unveil the horrific details of what had allegedly transpired. They painted a chilling portrait of unimaginable cruelty, raising the haunting question, where is Harmony Montgomery? While the nation searched for answers, there was one individual who knew the truth, her biological father, Adam Montgomery. He was the only person who could reveal where Harmony was hidden, who had dismembered her body, and how he discarded her like refuse. Kayla Montgomery, Adam's wife, emerged as a key witness. She provided crucial information, revealing that Harmony had been experiencing bathroom accidents in the car, which drove Adam to a breaking point. For 2 years, Adam had evaded justice, going to extreme lengths to conceal his crime. He transported Harmony's lifeless body with him, showing a complete disregard for the life he had extinguished. In the months that followed, he inflicted physical and emotional terror upon Kayla, the sole witness to his heinous act. Kayla was viewed as a loose end, someone who posed a risk of exposing the truth. Under the pressure of his rage, she often had no choice but to relieve herself in the car. When confronted with her accidents, Adam's responses were violent. He would strike her, hitting her face or legs, demonstrating an alarming level of aggression. This abuse culminated in a tragic incident on December 7, 2019. The day stood out sharply in Kayla's memory. Adam's fury erupted when Harmony had an accident first thing in the morning. He relentlessly punched her in the head. When asked how many times he struck her, Kayla struggled to quantify the violence, the traumatic memories overwhelming her. Adam's words were equally chilling, as he maliciously ordered Harmony to silence herself, echoing the darkness that surrounded their home. On December 7, 2019, a pivotal moment emerged, one that would haunt the investigation. Witnesses recalled a day filled with violence as Adam unleashed a brutal assault on Harmony, striking her repeatedly. The harrowing details began to surface, revealing that Adam had not just harmed his daughter, but had done so in a fit of rage early that morning. Witnesses recounted chilling statements from Adam during the attack, where he had told Harmony to be silent, showcasing a disturbing glimpse into his mindset. In a harrowing revelation, the chilling details of that fateful day emerged. All it took was a single brutal strike to Harmony Montgomery's head. The impact caused a catastrophic bleed within her fragile brain. When asked if she tried to help Harmony during the assault, Kayla Montgomery hesitated, recalling the look in Adam Montgomery's eyes. It was a gaze filled with malice, a warning that sent chills down her spine, as if he was prepared to unleash his rage upon her next. As the darkness of the situation unfolded, Kayla recounted Adam's desperate attempts to conceal the truth. He resorted to extreme measures, taking a duffel bag from the trunk of their vehicle and, in a horrific act, placed Harmony's lifeless body inside. When asked if she ever considered fleeing, she revealed her fears. The presence of 2 other children kept her tethered to a man she feared, yet still cared for. Despite the horror of their reality, Kayla and Adam kept Harmony's body with them for nearly 3 months, moving from place to place. When questioned about the location of Harmony's remains during that time, Kayla's voice trembled as she confessed it was in the trunk of their car. The investigator pressed further, asking what Adam did with the duffel bag when they arrived at her aunt's house. Kayla recalled how it was hidden under the porch. As the investigation deepened, it was revealed that when they reached her mother's home, Adam placed the duffel bag in a cooler. After their time living with Kayla's mother, they sought refuge at a family shelter called Families in Transition. However, fate would soon intervene. As they opened the ceiling of the shelter, a detective emerged, his eyes landing on disturbing stains atop the panels above. Those stains were confirmed to be Harmony's blood, a haunting reminder of the innocence lost. The detective's findings added another layer of complexity with the introduction of a fingerprint expert. This expert would later testify about the fingerprints and handprints left behind in the aftermath of tragedy. When the expert was asked if they could identify the individual responsible for the prints, the response sent shockwaves through the courtroom. It was Adam Montgomery. His connection to the crime deepened, corroborating Kayla's earlier statements about Harmony being hidden away in the ceiling. Adam, while under scrutiny, owned up to his role in Harmony's care. He admitted that something terrible happened on his watch. Yet, he vehemently denied being the one to kill her. The tension thickened in the room as details unfolded, particularly when maintenance workers arrived and Adam took drastic measures to conceal the truth. He removed Harmony's body from the ceiling, placing it into a trash bag. As the darkest secrets began to unravel, the court learned that Adam had even discussed plans for Harmony's remains. He spoke of using lime and dismembering her to ensure she would never be found. When pressed about his intentions, he withheld information on where he planned to dispose of the precious little girl. To this day, her final resting place remains a mystery. Speculation arose that perhaps Harmony's body lay submerged at the bottom of a saltwater marsh just outside River Ma. Investigators uncovered that in March of 2020, Adam had requested a friend to rent a U-Haul. During this time, he and Kayla transported Harmony's remains, a chilling truth that lingered between them. As the investigation progressed, Adam's conversations about disposing of Harmony's body raised alarms. He had a plan, a sinister idea for erasing his actions, leaving investigators scrambling for answers. On the night Adam disposed of Harmony's remains, he was captured on camera near Boston. This evidence provided the most concrete lead regarding the location of Harmony's body. Yet the defense was poised to introduce their own narrative, casting doubt and shifting blame in this tragic tale of loss. Speculation arose that Harmony's remains might lie hidden in a saltwater marsh nearby, a chilling thought that gripped the community. Adam's attempt to conceal his daughter's fate echoed through the investigation, intensifying the urgency to find the truth. From December 2019 to March of 2020, investigators made a significant breakthrough. They pinpointed the exact U-Haul that had been rented, cross-referencing it with the Massachusetts toll system. On the fateful night when Adam Montgomery disposed of Harmony Montgomery's remains, he was traced near Boston. This crucial information became the most promising lead in the search for Harmony's remains. Yet amid the unfolding tragedy, the defense presented its own narrative, suggesting an alternative theory regarding the identity of Harmony's killer. In a chilling turn of events, the defense claimed that Adam Montgomery was not responsible for the death of his daughter, Harmony. Instead, it was Kayla Montgomery, the last person known to have seen Harmony alive, who held the key to the truth of how Harmony met her tragic end. Adam's attorneys proposed a shocking theory. Perhaps it was Kayla who had committed the murder, while Adam merely participated in the cover-up. In an attempt to undermine Kayla's credibility, Adam's defense painted her as a liar. Yet, amidst the chaos of conflicting narratives, police had managed to corroborate several aspects of Kayla's statements. However, the crucial moments unfolded within the confines of a vehicle, with only Adam and Kayla present, leaving much of the truth unverified. It was clear. Adam was not an innocent party. Together, Adam and Kayla had concealed Harmony's death, transporting her body to ensure it remained hidden before ultimately disposing of her remains. Kayla's own history was troubling. By her admission, she was deceptive, a thief, and struggling with substance abuse. The defense hoped to instill doubt within the jury, suggesting that perhaps someone else was responsible for Harmony's demise. Despite Kayla's questionable character, Adam's attorneys took no witnesses to the stand. Instead, they focused on meticulously cross-examining Kayla Montgomery. They highlighted inconsistencies in her statements to law enforcement regarding the events surrounding Harmony's death. Kayla, who had previously testified that Harmony was given to her mother, Crystal Sorey, just days after Thanksgiving in 2019, was confronted with the fact that she had been fired from her job at Dunkin' Donuts, a statement that turned out to be a lie. Even in front of the grand jury, she repeated this falsehood, compounding the deception. Under scrutiny, Kayla was pressed about a violent encounter she had witnessed. She described a moment where she attempted to intervene as Adam struck Harmony. Yet, when the defense challenged her, asking why she ceased her efforts after witnessing what she described as the face of pure evil, Kayla reluctantly admitted to feeling paralyzed by fear. This testimony left a crack for the defense to exploit, questioning Kayla's reliability. They pointed to her past lies and her conviction for perjury, suggesting that her motivations were rooted in a desire to protect Adam, her abuser. Yet this complexity might have lent a strange credibility to her narrative, as the jury could see the fear that had driven her initial dishonesty. Kayla stated that the last time she saw Harmony, the child was happy. When pressed, she confirmed that she had no issue with lying to the grand jury, reinforcing the idea that the last time she truly saw Harmony, the girl was already gone. After an intense 2 weeks of testimony, the case was handed over to the jury. Following a mere 2 hours of deliberation, the jury's decision was sealed, marking a pivotal moment in the case against Adam Montgomery. They formally charged Adam Montgomery with the crime of second-degree murder. The jury, having absorbed every detail over countless hours, ultimately found him guilty. In the wake of this verdict, a sense of resolute justice emerged, as it became clear that Adam had indeed taken Harmony's life. Meanwhile, Kayla Montgomery struck a plea deal in exchange for her cooperation. She served less than 2 years behind bars after pleading guilty to perjury in an unrelated case and emerged back into the world, a free woman. Months later, Adam stood before the court, facing the consequences of his actions, despite his desperate plea for Kayla not to appear at his sentencing hearing. He faced the grim reality of a life behind bars, with the haunting memory of what had transpired weighing heavily on all involved. As the jury deliberated on whether to charge Adam Montgomery with the crime of second-degree murder, tension filled the courtroom. After countless hours immersed in the case, the verdict was clear. The jury found Adam Montgomery guilty. The weight of his guilt hung heavy in the air, as the lead investigator proclaimed with unwavering conviction that there was no doubt in his mind, Adam had killed Harmony. Meanwhile, Kayla Montgomery, in a desperate bid for leniency, struck a plea deal. In exchange for her cooperation, she served less than 2 years for perjury in an unrelated matter, now free months later. Despite Adam's fervent plea to prevent Kayla from attending his sentencing hearing, she appeared nonetheless. Adam now faced the grim reality of a life sentence, as the courtroom echoed with the gravity of his actions. In a moment of raw emotion, the judge compelled Adam Montgomery to confront the reality of his actions. The charges against him were laid bare, as the anguished words echoed in the courtroom. Crystal Sorey, Harmony's mother, confronted him fiercely. She expressed how every lie Adam told about their daughter was a betrayal, highlighting that Harmony had a life filled with promise, a life that starkly contrasted with his own emptiness. The truth stung deeply, for it was evident that Harmony's vibrant spirit was a constant reminder of what Adam could never be. Crystal's determination was the catalyst for the search. She raised the alarm, reaching out to the mayor and the police, igniting a desperate quest for her missing child. Without her courage to speak out, it is chilling to consider how many would remain oblivious to Harmony's plight. Her actions were the only reason that anyone was out there, scouring for the little girl who had vanished. The 7th of the month would forever be etched as the darkest day in Crystal's life. She was tormented by unanswerable questions. Did her daughter cry for her? Did she scream? Did she plead for Adam to stop? Those haunting thoughts lingered in her mind, unanswered, while Adam remained silent, too cowardly to reveal the truth and offer even a hint of closure for Harmony. Though Adam took Harmony from her physically, Crystal fiercely held on to the memory of her daughter. She declared that Harmony would always be with her, a spirit intertwined with her own. The weight of Adam's actions was immense. He robbed his 5-year-old daughter of her future and stole a sister from her brothers and sisters, leaving a void that could never be filled. The court delivered its judgment. Adam Montgomery was charged with second-degree murder. With a heavy heart, the judge sentenced him to New Hampshire State Prison for no less than 45 years, a grim reminder of the life he extinguished, that of his own daughter. Even now, Harmony's remains have not been found, leaving a chilling emptiness in the hearts of those who loved her. Crystal envisioned a day when Harmony would be publicly remembered, a memorial to honor her life and legacy. It was a hope that one day she would be acknowledged, not just as a victim, but as a vibrant little girl who deserved to be celebrated. In the wake of tragedy, Manchester, a city often marked by fractures, came together for Harmony. The community's response to her disappearance reflected a profound collective grief and a determination to protect its most vulnerable. If there was a legacy to be forged from this sorrow, It was the powerful impact Harmony had on those around her, a legacy that continued to resonate even now. Harmony had become a symbol of innocence lost, a beacon of hope amidst despair. Her story united the community, reminding everyone that even in darkness, light could emerge. She was no longer just a little girl. She became an emblem of resilience and love, her spirit living on in the hearts of many. As the case unfolded, Adam Montgomery's hidden secrets were dragged into the light, revealing the chilling, heartbreaking truth of his involvement in his daughter's death. In the midst of this turmoil, Crystal continued her search, clinging to the hope that one day she could lay her beloved daughter to rest, finally granting Harmony the peace she so desperately deserved. At the time of this recording, Crystal Sorey remained steadfast in her quest, tirelessly seeking closure in a world that had turned upside down. The pain of her loss was palpable, yet her spirit was unyielding. That concludes this episode of Prime Crime. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jesse Weber, reminding you to stay safe and vigilant.